Hello everyone, my name is Dan Koeman. I'm here with Michael Micholic to talk about Rayman Origins, which is coming to various platforms later this month, but we're here to talk about the Wii version of the game. To start, could you please introduce yourself to the audience and talk about your role within Ubisoft?
Yeah, my name is Michael Micholic. I'm working at the Montpellier studio where we're making Rayman Origins, and I'm working on, marketing and communications, PR stuff, so just a lot of different things, and mostly what I've been working on is a lot of the trailers you guys have been seeing out there.
Cool. Okay, so for people who haven't heard about the game before or need a reminder, what is Rayman Origins all about?
Well, first of all, it's the return. It's Rayman coming back to his roots. So Rayman's sort of been gone for a while, and now he's coming back, and you're gonna see Rayman like you've seen him before as a 2D side-scrolling platformer game. You're gonna see a lot of familiar characters, but we're taking a whole new take on this. You're gonna see beautiful HD graphics. We're introducing 4-player co-op into the game, and just kind of telling a whole new story of the Rayman universe.
Okay, so what can players expect story-wise from Rayman Origins?
Well, the thing is that basically the way this starts off is you understand how the world is created. So Rayman's from the Glade of Dreams, and the world is created by the Bubble Dreamer. The Bubble Dreamer, when he's happy, has really good dreams and creates all the bright, fun, happy characters you see in the game. When he has bad dreams, you see some of the evil, nasty, spiky kind of characters from the game. So what's happening right now is that the Bubble Dreamer's been having more and more bad dreams, and they are starting to kind of create an uprising against the happy part of the world. And so you see them coming up from underneath the ground and taking over the world. And so Rayman sent in to help save the day and help restore balance to the Glade of Dreams, and to help the Bubble Dreamer have happy dreams once again.
What inspired you to go back to classic Rayman gameplay after years of minigames titles and being a character in the Rabbids universe?
Yeah. Well, I think that really where it comes from is the technology. Michel Ancel, the creator of the game, really wanted to come up with a new engine, a way to make it so that we could bring hand-drawn art and bring it into a game and animate it. I think what you see a lot of times with 3D games is like, oh, you see some beautiful concept art, some beautiful environments and things like that, but when it comes down to actually putting it into a game, it doesn't quite look like the concept art does. So what Michel really wanted to do is say, hey, how can I take this concept art and actually make it the game? And so that naturally lent itself to a 2D sort of format. When we started putting together the engine and seeing what we could do, Michel realized like this was the perfect way to bring back Rayman. It's like finally we had this beautiful 2D world we could create, and it just was really conducive to the Rayman style of gameplay with the platforming and the 2D style. So we decided to go back to the roots, really, and go back to this 2D platforming style.
Okay. Is the game easier to play alone? Are there challenges that require multiple players? From what I've seen and what experienced of it, it seems to be kind of a rough game.
Well, trust me, we ease you in. So at the beginning, I think it's a lot more accessible. We teach you some of the rules of the game, and as you progress through each world, you gain different abilities. But it definitely gets harder as you play. I'd say if you play alone, it's more difficult, because one of the mechanics we introduced into the game is in the co-op side is when you die, you basically blow up into a balloon, and as long as one of your co-op teammates is still alive, he can punch the balloon and bring you back to life. So as long, you can try risky moves, you can try to go for the skull coins, you can try to, different daring tasks, and as long as one of your buddies is still alive, he can bring you back. So the game is the same whether you play single player or multiplayer, but I think it's just a little bit easier when you have the comfort of a co-op partner there to bring you back to life.
Was it difficult to bring this art style and presentation to the Wii, since this game was originally intended as a download release on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3?
Well, yeah, when we originally thought it was going to be a downloadable game, but then when we started putting it together, it's like the way Rayman works is that you get an ability in a world, and you move to the next world, get an ability, so on and so on. Then once you have all the abilities, you revisit those worlds with new levels created in that world. And all of a sudden you have different challenges where that world before didn't have, because now you have new abilities. So we had to get away from the whole downloadable thing, because the game just wasn't conducive to that. We can't have people downloading like 10 different worlds. It didn't make sense. So the game grew, and once it grew into a full game, 60 levels, 20 plus hours. Of course, we wanted to be on the Wii since Rayman has a strong history on it with Nintendo. So I think that the minute we decided to move away from the download, we absolutely were planning to. I mean, the Wii was a part of it, and it was a big reason that we wanted to move that direction as well.
What makes this game different from other 4-player 2D games on the Wii, such as Mario or Kirby?
Yeah, I think the thing that's different is obviously the art style. The minute you see it, it'll feel different. But to me, I think one of the biggest things that's different about us as a platformer is the beat 'em up element. So you can slap your friends, you can beat up the enemies, you can, it adds this whole different element to it. Like, it's cooperative, but it's also competitive. And, for example, we were just playing and, you're running around, you're about to grab some looms or a coin, and all of a sudden your buddy punches you and knocks you down. And so, like, that's just this different element. We've seen in playtests and different times where we're demoing the game where 5 minutes go by and people haven't really even started playing the game because they're just punching each other and slapping each other and having fun with that. So I think that's a really different aspect to this game that most platformers don't have.
Through this journey in this game, Rayman and his friends will get new powers along the way. Could you perhaps highlight some of the more interesting moves, and are there perhaps differences between characters?
So essentially everyone gets the same power, so there's not really any differences, but the animations are different. So for example, Rayman, when he gets his floating thing, it's the helicopter. It's the famous Rayman helicopter, but not everybody has Rayman's luscious locks, so they can't have the helicopter. Globox flaps his arm like a big dopey bird, and the teensies, their jackets kind of float up in like a parachute. So that's really cool, like how they each have their own animation, but the ability is the same all the way across. I think one of the cool abilities that you get is in the mountain world towards the end of the first set of worlds, and that's the wall run. And the wall run, it sounds like, oh yeah, you're just running up a wall, but what we do with the gameplay I think is really interesting, because you can run up and down and side to side and jumping. As long as you're sprinting, you can just kind of manipulate your way through all kinds of different environments and obstacles that we put in front of you through the wall run. So I think it's really an interesting ability that you gain.
How does the game control on the Wii? Can players choose from different options, or is there just one?
Yep, you can play with the classic controller. Yeah. You can play with the Wiimote and the nunchuck, or just the Wiimote on the side. So you have the option as any way you want to play.
Cool. In the demo at E3 earlier this year, you showed a little section of the level that was dedicated to Tetris. Can players expect more references like these?
No, that was just for the show. That was just something we wanted to do since E3 is such a big collection of gaming fans. We wanted to do a little joke for everyone, but it won't be included in the game actually. So, yeah, you might find little things here and there, little jokes, little Easter eggs, but no, we're not really doing all these tributes to old games or anything like that. That was just kind of a special thing we did for E3.
All right, okay, that's cool.
Sorry.
No problem.
It was pretty fun.
Oh, absolutely. How much content is there in the game? There's around 50 levels to explore, correct?
Over 60 levels. Okay. We think it's going to take you at least 20 hours to play through. And I think the one thing to keep in mind is the variety of maps we have. So we have some, kind of standard platforming maps, but then there are the shoot 'em up maps, which are sort of transitions. So when you go from one world to the next, you actually jump on your mosquito friend and you play a shoot 'em all style of game, and that kind of transitions you to the next world. And additionally, we have the chest maps, which are really challenging, and it's gonna take you a few times to complete those. And basically, that's just an all-out sprint map where you're chasing down this crazy chest, and you have to catch it and break it and get the skull tooth.
What can we expect out of Rayman Origins in terms of the music?
I am addicted to the soundtrack. I'm not lying. I know I'm here, on behalf of the game, but really, like, this is the most creative soundtrack I've ever experienced in a game, for sure. It's you have I don't know, you have like goofy, like Hawaiian sounding, like island songs. You have like really dark, kind of depressing like country songs. You've got this when you're in the deep underwater of the abyss. It feels like a horror movie. It's like, what's going to happen next? You know, whatever the mood of the level is, the music just fits in perfectly, and you're going to find yourself like humming these songs or singing these songs after you play. It's a really creative soundtrack. I really like it a lot, and if you get the limited edition version, you actually can get a copy of the soundtrack yourself. So,
wow. Since it has been years since Rayman had starred in a platforming game of his own, what are your expectations regarding fan acceptance?
Well, so far it's been the fan excitement has been huge. I mean, I think everybody's just so happy. No offense to the Rabbids, but to finally see a real Rayman game come back, and you know, he's kind of been teased here and there with some of the Rabbids games, but this is a real Rayman game. I think people are just happy to be playing a Rayman platformer again. It's been a long time, and I think that, you know, we've gotten nothing but positive feedback on the art style and bringing back like some of the classic characters, and so I think we haven't really had any sort of pushback. I think everybody's just so relieved that Rayman's finally back, just like we are.
I think that was almost the time we had for the interview. Do you have any final words for the viewers? Why should they look forward to this game?
Well, I think that, you know, as we approach the holiday season, I think the best thing about this game is getting a group of friends or family together and just playing. You'll be laughing, you'll be joking around, you'll be trying to win together, you'll be competing against each other. I just really think that as we approach the time of the holidays where people spend more time with their friends and family, I think this is a great game to kind of get everybody together. It's a positive game, you know, you're not killing people, there's not blood, you don't have to worry about your kids seeing it. It's a game that everyone really can play together and have fun. So I think the timing's right for this game to come out for the holidays.
Thank you so much for your time.